Ashram says, Mehran, thank you. Do you believe that people with OCD are particularly creative compared to the average person? Is that where our imagination comes from? I believe there is absolutely. It is an overactive, capable brain, very creative, and these are mostly people who actually are inventors. They come up with ideas and products and inventions that didn't exist because the imagination is so strong that they could actually create that. One of those people who has a strong imagination is me. And I have invented many products. But in a different echelon, Nikola Tesla, the world famous inventor of all times, he had an amazing difficulties with all these kind of intrusive thoughts and headaches and manic kind of behavior sometimes as far as these signals and so on. And this is over imaginative, very powerful brains these people have, and their imagination is second to none. That's why they can create things that it wasn't imaginable. Look, there is a concept called a neural ensemble. A neural ensemble is something that needs a precise precision between the neurons in the brain to be able to synchronize themselves to create something that is naturally impossible. For example, if you want to imagine, right now, do it with me. We did that once here in one of my live streams. You do it all right now. If you imagine a lion with the head of a duck, or an elephant with the head of a giraffe. These are called, these need a special arrangement because it doesn't exist in nature. It needs a special arrangement to create something that has not been seen before. It has not been done. It doesn't exist. And it's called neural ensemble because certain type of neurons should line up in a certain way, and another kind of neurons should line up in the same way, synchronized at the same moment to create both pictures. So you can imagine a horse with the head of a lion. You see, you can imagine it, right? But it's not normal. But that neural ensemble can create something that has no existence, no reality and actuality to it. In the same way, it can create an imagination, thought, suggestion, or images of you interested in something or doing something that is not your interest at all, and it has no actuality to it, but through neural ensemble, it can create that. Just as it can create weird things, it can create these sort of things as well, which is weird to you. And something that could be weird to me or other people, it could be natural to other people. And what could be weird to them, it could be natural to us. So this is what happens in the brain, and this possibility and ability of neural ensemble, just as it can create something that doesn't exist with the head of and body of two different animals, it can also create something that doesn't exist in you, which is being different than the gender you have been, you've always been, and you always will be, but creates something in your images and thoughts that is not of interest in you, and you cannot identify with it, but it can create it because that's what the brain does. And especially when it's malfunctioning, it does all sort of weird things. So you got to know these things. Well, I have this information in the playlist that is called Intrusive Transient OCD, HOCD Negative Thoughts, or Intrusive OCD, HOCD Short Videos. And I said, as I said before, it's not really that short, but those are very important videos, this second playlist, because it focuses on thought not to be played with, not to be paid attention to, rather than data hunting and reasons why you could see some interest in this and so on and so forth. We have these two playlists that in detail I've explained this whole process and can be helpful. Plus, having gotten help from scientists presentations such as Dr. Schwartz explaining an experiment done by Dr. Grable and her student at MIT, how obsession leads to compulsion, and then leads to dopamine, and then after a while the compulsion is not doing because the obsession is doing because to get the dopamine, they get addicted in dopamine because they feel good, dopamine is secreted, and then after a while keep doing this, they no longer are doing it for dopamine, they're doing it because it becomes their habit. Once it becomes a habit, it becomes more difficult to get rid of it. And that's why the sooner you realize these are thoughts and don't give in to them, don't believe in them, don't data hunt them, don't engage with them, and just move on and pass by and focus on your life until your behavior shows the brain what you're not interested in, when there's a malfunction in the signaling system, then it becomes a habit, and then it becomes more. That's why I want you guys to get to know about this whole process of obsession, compulsion, dopamine, and the habit, so you will sooner learn how to deal with it without buying into the nonsense. All right. Yeah. The idea is don't try to come up with any reasons or interpretations and proving to yourself, and just leave it. Don't pay attention. Just understand that it's thought. If you watch my latest video that is called Intrusive Thoughts, Brain and You. Intrusive Thoughts, Brain and You. There is one that is 20 minutes, a better edited one, 20 minutes. It's a long version. There's another one, 7-8 minutes. It shows you which one of the thoughts is you and which ones that you think it's you is not. And that's perhaps an interesting video to watch.